It's just a nice way to start. Oh, what a day.
Oh, we worked hard today.
We did. Where's my baseball?
Huh?
Where's my baseball?
It's up above.
Where's my fiddle toy?
Your fidget spinner?
Where's my fidget spinner? Oops, I knocked the mic. Slow start.
To you.
I totally forgot what the question was that we, excuse me, that we left off with was.
Well, I wrote it
Don't
down.
be afraid to get that mic nice and close, eh? With these new, quits.
Leave. Every goddamn time.
Quits on the spot.
Unpaid. Overworked.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe so I can get paid.
Yeah, for all this work. I see why social media people say like it's a full-time job.
It is.
It actually is. Like all the editing and everything.
It's so hard.
Like and subscribe. I see why people are so desperate and say that. Please like and subscribe so I don't have to do this for free all the time. I still refuse.
Okay, you.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be a shorter one, folks. We don't got much in the tank.
Okay, so last time we talked about healthy communication in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we were joking about, that I think we mentioned, but we made note of to have a further discussion about, was how when we went on our first date.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I remember.
When we went on our first date, we were sitting by the water and it was so nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked you how long the longest relationship you'd been in was.
Yeah.
And you said about 10 months.
Yeah.
And then you were like, what about you? And I was like 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little bit of a silence of absorbing that information from one another.
Yep.
And so I think what we wanted to talk about today from that, eyes on me. 1, 2, 3.
I'm with you, just making sure it's recording.
1, 2, 3, eyes on me.
The girl at the wedding counting down. It actually works so well.
It works so well.
5, 4, 3. I'm stopping my coloring.
She's a teacher. She had all of our attention. Teacher voice. Okay, so the first thing, that from that difference of 10 months versus 10 years or 11 years was what?
If you're going to give yourself an extra year, I'm going to give myself an extra month. 11 months.
I would love to give myself one less year. To be completely honest, I would love to make it 10, not 11, but here we are.
Yeah. You look really pretty.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's get to it. Stop dilly-dallying.
Okay. What from your 10 months of dating, or maybe being a bit more of a casual dater, like you had more experience just dating and meeting new people.
Yep.
What did you take from that helped you teach me something?
The trial and error portion, probably. Just learning little bits from every relationship. And always really wanting to have a really good relationship and be happy. And like, I almost looked at it as climbing a mountain together, you know? But it's really hard. It was really hard to find someone that you could do it all with.
Right.
So I think I learned little bits from each relationship. Little bits that I thought were necessary and things that, I learned from each one. But you want specifics.
No, I think I asked that question wrong. Okay, this is it. What did you learn from me, having been in a long-term relationship previously, about being in a long-term relationship? Does that make sense?
what did I learn from you about being in a long-term relationship?
Yeah. Like, how did my long-term relationship and me talking about my experiences being in that teach you something about being in a relationship?
I guess I guess just like your committed attitude, like how you were not as discouraged by the little things that I was. You had a much better way of just seeing the big picture and knowing like you might not feel good today, but tomorrow's a new day. And like you just had a much more long-term perspective. Whereas me, if something wasn't working in the short term, I'm so used to changing it. But sometimes in relationships, you can't do that. You can't just shift it right away. And it might take a long time to work through that thing or to just work a language to communicate around that thing. Okay. That wasn't the answer you were looking for?
No, I'm not framing it right. Okay, let's just restart. Okay. So I come into our relationship with the long-term relationship perspective. You come in with more of, I wouldn't even say like short-term, I would say like diverse.
Yeah.
Diversity.
Yeah.
How do you think coming in with those two perspectives helped or hindered us, or both?
I feel like I've tried to answer this twice and you haven't liked it. Like, I don't know what else I'm going to say. I met a lot of people. I dated a lot of people. So I had a really good idea, I think, of what worked and what didn't work for me in a relationship and what, generally speaking, what worked and what didn't.
Yeah, you're right.
There were certain things that I thought, like when I first started dating, like I remember one of my first serious girlfriends when I was like 16. I remember what I really thought mattered. And then kind of realizing this doesn't matter as much as I think it matters. And that was my first kind of clue into, you don't have it worked out. Like you have an idea of what works and what is going to sort of be sustainable, but it's not always true in practice. And I was really surprised at, how I lost feelings for that person because we couldn't communicate very well or talk very well. But, other things were just anyways. Yeah. And I think like each relationship that I got in throughout my adult life, I just learned new little things about myself and about what actually works, what matters more and what doesn't necessarily matter as much.
Do you remember any particular, like maybe just the first one that you mentioned, like kind of a something that really surprised you through dating?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think men generally are quite focused on appearance. And when I was younger, I was just a lot more focused on appearance. And it's important, like it's important to be attracted to your partner. But there's just like that can only go so far. And I don't think movies and media did me a very good service of nailing that idea in that, like, you really, for me anyways, like I found it really difficult to hang out with people that I didn't connect deeply with, who I couldn't have like very deep conversations with. Yeah. And so I think I learned that one like earlier on, that appearance does not mean as much as you might think people are allowed to go for that. Like I'm not criticizing that per se. I'm just saying for myself, I knew it wasn't going to be the all sustaining thing. Like you can't I could not base a relationship on how the person looked and just the level of like pure physical attraction.
Yeah, it can only go so far.
It can. I think that's a trap that a lot of guys fall into. And media definitely reinforces for sure. Like the attractiveness of a female partner for a male in a heterosexual relationship is like a status symbol in a way. You know, it's, and yeah, attraction's important. There's nothing wrong with being attracted to people, like going for a really good looking person. There's nothing wrong with that. But in terms of a long-term relationship, like happy, peaceful, sustaining, I don't think that's the foundation upon which you build. Yeah. Our dog's barking. Wonder if they can hear that. Probably faintly. Bailey, please stop.
Bailey Elizabeth.
Daddy and Mommy are trying to speak.
Gets louder. Like the attractiveness thing?
Yeah. What? Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, I think it matters.
It does.
It does.
Why'd you say it like that?
Because I didn't feel that.
Oh. That's where this is going. That's why she was so uncomfortable. Maddie's first relationship, which was 10 years, 11 years, did not feel the physical attraction.
Yeah, the physical attraction was not there enough. Trying to be like...
You can just say it. Like, you weren't that attracted to a person. And I think the way that they pursued you, you know, with like showing up at your house, even though you said, don't come over tonight. Like, that's an example of just someone who will suffocate you. And whether they're really good looking or not will decrease your attraction to them.
Yeah, there was lots of different things. I think ultimately looking back, like we were friends. Like we were good friends.
Yeah.
And I think I spent a lot of time trying to feel things that weren't there.
Yep.
Because of a lot of different reasons. My own insecurities, just wanting a partner, like feeling really guilty that
this person liked you so much, but you couldn't muster it for them.
Yeah, that it wasn't on the same level. I felt really like shallow and guilty and like a bad person. But like, if it's not there, it's not there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. And I kept trying to make it work.
Is the topic of this week like a long-term relationship? Like what sustains it?
No.
No?
No.
Do we have a topic?
It was just like reflecting on dating.
Right.
Like reflecting on our dating differences, I think, is maybe the topic for this week.
Okay.
I didn't write down the question that I wanted to ask correctly.
No.
No, but I think like just reflecting on dating differences.
The dating differences that you and I have based on like the dating experience that we had.
Yeah, and like how that's come into play in our relationship or like shaped us as people.
What's a positive and negative thing that you've taken from my dating experience?
Yeah, I think the positive would be like, I remember a friend asking me when I was single for the first time as an adult, what's your type? Or like, what do you like? What do you not like? And I was like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
So I feel like you with you coming into our relationship, having kind of like figured that out, was like helpful for me to be like, oh, it's okay that sometimes there's things that you like about a person and sometimes there's not.
Right.
Like, I feel like you'd flushed out some.
How did that like affect you in particular? Like,
I'm gonna burp. I had it and I just lost it.
We're gonna lose some subscribers on this episode.
You can't make it a full one.
We're gonna absolutely lose some subs.
You're gonna have to cut a lot of this. Okay.
I had 2 random people follow us on Instagram yesterday. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. Like, I don't even know these people. One of them was like a scientist from somewhere. Like, I don't think around here. Just some random person. I don't know what she did. It looked like some sea stuff.
Cool.
And I was like, that's so cool. Like, she maybe saw one of our videos and was like, oh, I like that. And then just follow.
You sure it wasn't a robot?
No.
Oh, cool.
But I think it was a person.
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It made me feel like, oh, yeah. maybe something we say makes some sense.
Maybe we're not just rambling.
Yeah.
Like today.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a cool feeling though.
That is cool. I've had that with like pottery.
Yeah.
When people like, I'm like, oh, they really like me.
Because they have no obligation. Like family and friends, like they'll follow us.
They have to.
They're like, oh, what's your podcast? And I'm like, it's this. But you like, they're probably like maybe interested, but also just being nice.
Yeah.
But there were these two people, and I was like, well, they don't have to.
They
chose. So they actually want to.
They wanted to like us.
Yeah.
They do like us.
Yeah.
Thanks. So cute.
Yeah, it is cute.
Okay. Can you say your question again?
My question was like, what's a positive and negative thing that you've taken from my dating experience? Because I came in, have dated a lot of people. What was like a positive for you from that and a negative?
I think a positive was that like I feel like you figured out what you want, what you like when you don't like.
Why was that a positive?
Because you'd picked me. Like,
right. So it wasn't just like I'm settling.
Yeah, like you had kind of spent time getting your beans out.
Got lots of beans
out.
Yeah.
And kind of figured out like what you'd like come full circle, I feel like, of in the dating world of like, okay, now I know I'm ready for this.
Right. That's very true.
Yeah, so I think that was a positive. A negative was like feeling insecure.
In comparison?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was like a negative, which I mean, like, if you had a long-term relationship, I would have probably like felt insecure too of like comparing myself to that person, you know?
Yeah. Natural.
Yeah, so I think that's just the negative for me that I would go to primarily.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was like coming from experience being with someone that had never dated, both of us had never dated anybody else. I think it just like stifled our growth. And so then meeting you and knowing that you had kind of like gotten it out of your system and like worked out what was important to you and all that kind of stuff.
Got my beans out.
Got your beans out. Yeah.
What was the most important thing you learned being in a 10-year long-term relationship? The two most important things.
Two.
No, I don't know, one or two.
Yeah, I think one thing would be like the importance of communication, whether or not we had that.
What is healthy communication? See, last week's
yeah, like the importance of communication and trust.
Yeah.
I remember dating, you know, we started dating the summer before grade 10.
Okay.
And I remember then being like in a long-term relationship or a serious relationship in high school and seeing so many of my peers feel like, oh, so-and-so, like my partner or like the guy that I'm seeing like is going to a party tonight. Like I'm so nervous. Like the lack of trust with cheating and like commitment and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I realized early on, like that wasn't something that me and my partner struggled with. Was trust and communication in that piece. And I realized early on, like, how important that is. Because my friends were so fucking stressed about it. And then there would also be, like, other couples where it was like, well, he cheated on me last weekend, so I'm going to go, like, get him back. And I'm like, what is this?
And that's high school.
Yeah.
But, man, if you're in an adult relationship and you're legit worrying about your partner talking to other people and cheating, that's fine. Like, that comes from past stuff and whatnot. But, man, that is a hard thing. Like,
I think it's so overwhelming and like anxiety provoking for that person that feels that fear. So yeah, I learned early on that was really important. Things in retrospect that I learned.
Let's hear it. Let's hear the raw truth, Madison.
I got a couple, but the importance of having your own friends separate from your partner.
Why?
Because it's just good to have your own hobbies. It's good to have your own life separate from your partner, to have that individuality so that you're not so codependent and your lives aren't so enmeshed.
Right.
And
because if you do all the same things together, if you have all the same friends, then what happens?
And not even when you break, like if you were to break up, like.
But that does make it really shitty.
That makes it really hard. But
we've
also,
had some peeps go through that.
Yeah. Also, just like, who are you? You know, like, who are you separate from that person? And I think you and I try to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And we also, I would say, do things that we really like together. Like, it's that healthy balance of doing things that bring you guys closer, but also have, and being close with your partner's friends and family to an extent.
Yeah.
But also having your own people, your own community, your own sense of self is really important, that balance.
In that sense, we do have a pretty good balance of that. Because I have hobbies that you could care less about and vice versa. And I like your hobbies and you like mine, but you're never probably going to get into jujitsu. I probably will never get into pottery, but us being able to do those things on our own and just disconnect from each other in a healthy way and like life and just go do those things, I think is really good. But if you always are doing stuff with your partner, you'd never do... Yeah, you kind of lose yourself maybe in a bit. Or
And I think that in my last...
And to come together, we watched Survivor. Season 18.
19.
Around 19? I mean, we don't watch every season of the early ones, but we're getting up there.
Yeah. We've been pretty consistent since like 9.
Yeah, we've been putting in some good hours. We've been putting in some good work, I'd say. Jeff would be proud.
Jeff would be proud.
Jeff Probst. Haul at your boy. Hasn't aged a day in 19 years.
Yeah.
Hey?
Actually, though.
Like, do you remember a difference from season 1 to...
The hairline and the skin. I need deets.
Yeah. And the comments, the tribal council comments?
Was zingers.
Yeah.
He can be a little spicy.
The composure?
Okay. Back on me.
Yeah.
I think one thing I realized too was that me and my partner didn't have anything that we did for fun.
You didn't? What'd you do for fun?
Watched TV.
Oh, well,
watched movies.
It's not what we do for fun.
No, but like...
No, we do other stuff.
When we were really struggling and I was like... I'd moved back home. My dad was like, what if you guys just dated each other for a while? Like, just do something fun. And he was like, when was the last time you did? Or like, what do you guys do for fun? And I was like, oh my God, I don't know. Because he worked so much.
Very tired on the time off, right?
He would never have the energy to do anything.
Yeah, that was a tangible thing that I learned. Maybe like last couple of years in our relationship was you got to keep doing fun things. Like you got to keep it fresh in a way.
Yeah.
Like stay dating, do a new thing, even if you don't feel like doing it, or go bungee jumping with each other, or go roller skating, or
we're not big on the like fancy dating.
No.
And we are also in a very small town. But like even just
makes
things
me uncomfortable going to a nice restaurant.
Yeah. No thanks. Yeah. But even things like just the intention behind your activities together.
Yeah.
And forcing yourselves out of your comfort zone is really important.
There's like a newness and a little fire that gets ignited when you do something new with your partner. It's like, or when I do something new with you, it's like, oh, you kind of discover each other again a little bit.
Yeah.
One of our faves is just going to Value Village. Just kind of, I mean, we actually get there and we
don't even spend any time.
But then we come back together and we say, whoa, look at this. Usually I'll say, look at all these things I found. And you'll go, no. And I'll go, what?
And then you'll try it on. You'll be like, oh.
Yeah. And then I get it.
You're like, this is a woman's tank top. You're right. I shouldn't wear this.
We have a long-standing conflict over this psychedelically colored cardigan that we've seen.
I've seen I've seen at thrift stores.
Multiple times.
I've seen at Winners. I've seen so many places.
Which is a sign.
That we should have purchased it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It just keeps coming back into our lives.
Okay.
Sorry.
Circle back.
Yeah.
You
learned that you guys never did anything fun.
No, we didn't. And I think the other thing that I learned just recently was the importance of like alone time.
Totally.
So like I still feel like I was feeling so sick the other day, and I just needed to like, I was so overwhelmed. I just needed to be in like my own world.
Yeah.
And I felt so guilty for doing that because I think multiple factors, but one main one was I was never allowed to have alone time in that relationship.
What do you mean? Like even later on?
Later on,
because it almost seemed like he was the neglectful one that would like, you know?
Later on, it was a bit different, but like in high school, so like the 3.5, 4 years of high school, I would like come home from school and be like, I just want to have the day by myself, or like, and that would take a lot out of me to just be like, to set that boundary.
Yeah.
And he would still just show up. And he lived up the road from my parents' place, and my bedroom had like a balcony with stairs. So he would just like come.
Just Romeo and Juliet, yeah. But unconsensually. Yeah, that's not cool.
Or call me.
Right. What about later on?
Later on, it was more of just like, I was not a priority. It went from being so like, I'm not going to leave you alone. I'm never going to give you space. We're like always together. And like, I was extremely anxious. I was really struggling with my mental health. Also just like didn't have any experience being in a relationship. So I was like, well, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Like he wants to spend time with me. That's not bad. Right. But it like wore me down.
Yeah.
But I was also like so uncomfortable being on my own.
Yep.
So that kind of was that for a while. And then when I moved out to go to school, I was in Victoria and he was still up island. Then it became, there was no effort. There was no effort to like spend time together. I was, kind of the last thought. It was kind of like, well, she'll always be there.
Right.
That's the kind of feeling.
Taking it for granted.
And things like school and work obviously sometimes take priority, but then it would be like, yeah, it just kind of kept escalating where it was like, no, these are choices being made. And the choices that I'm, as your partner, not being chosen.
Yeah.
Or valued in whatever way. The effort was not.
And in a very extreme way, like an extreme neglectful way from what I've gathered from you.
Yeah, it escalated through the years.
How do you think partners like avoid taking each other for granted?
Oh, avoid that.
Yeah. Because it seems like a common thing.
Yeah, I think.
And like when you've been with someone for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you know?
I think we even have those moments.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unavoidable. And I think alone time comes into it, but I'm just curious what you think.
I think like, prioritizing like intentional time together. Because I think you can take for granted like quality time. You're like, oh, we're always together, you know, like we live together, or, we always end our days together, or whatever. We do stuff together, but are you present? Are you on your phone? Do you have your kids around? Like what's going on? Are you just watching TV and you're not really like engaging with one another?
Yeah.
I think that's a big one.
Because when we watch Survivor, we pause every like minute or so to discuss the little dynamics and what's going on and try to predict, that person's going to fuck things up because of that, or they're gonna get together and whatever. Yeah,
and we like try our best to not be on our phones when we're like actually with one another.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really hard. And I can't imagine what it would be like to have kids.
What do you think the number one thing is in terms of avoiding or sort of remedying the take each other for grantedness?
Yeah, I think intentional time and communicating. Like spending time, like even like this, where you're just like having a deep conversation, or like a check-in, or like
start your own pod.
Yeah, start your own podcast. Yeah, like some sort of check-in where kind of what we were talking about last one, where it was like to not build resentment. I think it's the same way. communicating in a way where you're checking in about like how the other's feeling in the relationship. Do they feel really overwhelmed right now, and so it's not a time to be planning a trip together? Or do they need to just be like, hey, let's just get away because we need to spice things up a little bit?
I like that one. Nate was telling me that him and his long-term ex used to do that. They would have like weekly check-ins.
Yeah.
Where they would just kind of like very openly talk about what was working, what was not working. Both like coming in with a calm kind of point of view, but I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I know another couple, like they have like weekly date nights.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I think like finding what works for you. Maybe a weekly date night isn't the right thing, or maybe the weekly check-in isn't the right thing, but find some kind of consistent way that it's not, 3 months later or multiple months and you're like, wow, we are really disconnected.
What do you think works best for us?
Well, I think we're really sensitive to it, so we address it pretty quick. Yeah. But, when we are having days when we're really disconnected or something's feeling off, like communicating through that is like our way, I think.
Yeah.
And I think something that we're learning right now is like doing fun things. Because it's so easy. We're such little freaks with
I've got projects. 3 full-time jobs now.
Yeah, like our work and projects and just seeing friends, and there can always be something to do, but like, do you need to? Is that the best thing that you need to do today? Or do we need to just like put those tasks aside and go and do something fun together?
Yeah, we're pretty good at that because we both are quote unquote high achievers, or strive for that and get a lot of like worth out of like accomplishing and just doing and stuff like that. Me through sports and other stuff, and you through
cleaning.
I mean, everything you do, like you want to do it well. And then we get so caught up in like obsessing about it. You can do that with pottery. I can do that with anything.
There will always be something to do. You can always find something to do.
There is. And like, are you doing it because that's really what you feel like doing, or are you doing it because it's like impulsive? Like it's a way to almost like functioning as an addiction to stay away from maybe how you're truly feeling about something, or just, I mean, that's like it's a common thing people do, but we're pretty good at like I can tell when you're kind of like anxiously doing something, or just, not really regulated, but still just pushing, and then pretty good at like bringing you back down. And you do the same. You did it for me this morning.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do need to just like, I can tell I can't relax
until
today.
I check this off the list.
But maybe we don't do the whole thing that was on the list. You do a couple and then we reconnect, or we like have a coffee break together, whatever it might be. Yeah. What do you think? What was it like when you
listen to your heart when you come?
What was it like on our first?
Sorry.
What was it like when we first met, or maybe throughout our relationship, like knowing that I had such a long-term relationship, was supposed to get married, was building a house, all that kind of stuff?
I didn't care too much because a lot of the people that I'd been with had been in similar situations. Maybe not for so long, but most women, at least that I had dated, probably everyone had been with a guy for a long term, and usually like in high school, but like, so I was used to dating women who had been with people for a long period of time. So I didn't think too much about it. Yours was particularly long, like 10 years. I was a little concerned with like, does she even know what dating is? Like, is she just going to like me because I'm a little bit better than him, or just kind of, she's getting some needs met that she didn't get with him. Like, can she really be objective about selecting me, almost the opposite of what you felt.
Totally.
But I think after a short while, I didn't really think about it too much because we just got along so well, and we met each other's like deepest needs, I think. But I knew you could grind it out. Like that was evident, and that became pretty clear. Like, this is a person who will stick by your side if you treat them well. And I know that you self-sacrificed for him, and to just you got breadcrumbs, and it took you a long time to just shed that skin, and he didn't make it easy. It wasn't your fault. But it's comforting knowing that the person you're with is like a fighter. Like they will fight for things and fight for you.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that that's
it's an incredible thing that like often it's the female, often it's the woman who like just looks past all the things that the guy does, and who just like commits to them. And they're like, I love them, like I'm going to stand by this person, and sometimes to a fault, but it is a really admirable quality, and it's a fucking grounding thing, to have someone who loves you that much. And it's just important to not take that for granted.
Yeah. And to not self-sacrifice through it.
Well, on your part, yes, but on the male's part, or the person who is with that person, it's important to not take that person for granted, just because you know that they're not going to leave, and like that they're going to stick by your side. Don't take that as an excuse to neglect them. Like you gotta. It's not good practice. No.
But I do think it's like a fair concern or thought to have when you realized like I had been in a really long-term relationship. Like, have I had the time to explore what I like, what I don't like, what's important to me? Because I think that's been something that like I'm glad I didn't date much, but I dated enough to kind of realize.
Yeah, you dipped your toe in the pool.
Yeah, and I kind of quickly realized like I am a long-term relationship girl. Like I cannot. I had friends being like, it's okay to date multiple people. I'm like, I don't feel good about this. Is so overwhelming. It's so stressful.
Yeah. The modern day dating was not for you.
No, not at all. And like, yeah, it was. I'm glad that I didn't just jump from one to the next, because I think that that's really easy to do. And it's especially easy when you, I think the other part that you said about like when the bar was so low in the last relationship, everybody looks better. And I learned that pretty quick, from like, oh my God, this person's like texting me back, or like, there was one person I dated that like got me this big basket of things like on our second date and just like spoiled me. And I was just like, oh my God, I've waited so long for someone to treat me well like this. So starting to like realize like, oh wow, like I do deserve better. Like it's not me. It was that person's inability to show up for me. Yeah. So I think that was a good learning curve. But in that, I also realized really quick that people will love bomb you, or like just because they're doing those like basic things that your person before didn't do does not mean that they're the right fit for you.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
No. That's like love bombing is it's such a common thing, and it makes evolutionary sense. You want to get together with someone and those hormones are super strong. You feel super strong. I don't think anybody love bombs on purpose, like knowing that they're doing it. I've done it. Like it's a natural thing in a sense, but that early stage, the way you feel is not how you're going to feel. Like maybe there's exceptions. I'm sure there is, I guess, but it's
not like we started really quick, love bombed the shit out of each other. So codependent.
Blew each other up.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
And it's
atom bombed each other.
It's so not sustainable. It was not healthy. It was yeah. But we were so excited about each other that like we couldn't help it.
We went like and then we had to like be like, okay, we still love each other, but we're gonna actually find our own lives. And then we kind of like came back together in like a nice way.
Yeah.
And now we're
now we're good. Now we're good. But there was
some rough patches. Some speed bumps, some hills to climb, some things to overcome.
But I do think like for anybody that is leaving a long-term relationship or recently left a long-term relationship, like try to go slow and really take the time to think about what you want, what you deserve. Like, put that out there, because you might be met with some people initially that appear to hit those markers, but it could be just the lustful beginning. Like, it could not be sustainable.
For sure.
And I think that it's okay to be a bit picky. I was not picky.
Picky's a good one. Yeah, I think picky is a good one.
Yeah. Trust your gut too. Like, I remember feeling, in my long-term relationship, there were so many times that my gut was just like screaming to me to like, this is not it. Like, leave. But even when I was dating afterwards, there were many times where I was like, my gut was just telling me like, that was a weird thing for them to say, or like that wasn't okay for them to do. And I was like, nope, it's fine.
Yeah, no, very true. Very, very true.
What other kind of... what advice do you have to someone that might be dating a person that has left a long-term relationship, or a relationship that's really impacted them?
Oh yeah, okay.
And it's important for them to be able to process that. So I'll speak for myself, like, having left that partner and that partnership, to this day, there are still things that I'm untangling.
Yep, for sure.
So how, because you do such a good job of not taking it personally or being uncomfortable by it, it's, you understand that it's really important. Can you speak to that?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's two different questions there. Like advice for someone who who's leaving a long-term relationship?
No, like as the new partner.
Yeah.
What kind of advice, or how do you how important is it to be able to
let you talk about your ex?
Yeah, without getting like jealous or uncomfortable or perceiving it that way. Like, how do you do that?
I mean, I don't know. I just think it's important. Like you're, depending on how much, if you've been in a long-term relationship, depending on how much processing you do after that, which most people, especially in like your situation, if you dated them from the time you're 16 to the time you're 26, and then you date for a little bit, you know, like you don't have a lot of time to process what happened and everything that went into that. Like that's years of untangling. It's just unrealistic to think. So, and obviously you're going to be like still negatively affected by it. And I just look at it as like, I'll whenever I can give you the space to go through that, because it's going to be helpful for you and for me and for us. Like, I just don't feel that jealousy, partly because I'm just not threatened by that person. I think, you know, like they set the bar so low, in my opinion, you know, like they didn't treat you well. And if you need to talk about it, absolutely talk about it. And it just seems logical to me, you know?
I think the difference for us when I'm talking about it, it's like processing, like processing kind of like pain or sadness around that. Or it's processing like, whoa, I have that behavior that's now showing up in our relationship. Yeah.
And if your partner is like, if stuff with their ex is coming up and you're feeling insecure about it, it's not necessarily because they still like them or they still love them. They might still have love. Like in my brain or heart, I know that you will, in a sense, have love for that person for the rest of your life, probably just based on the amount of time you spent together and how young you knew each other. That's just how people work, you know? But I think it's just important to know that if it is coming up, if your partner's talking about an ex, it's probably just to sort of process it because they feel safe talking to you. And if you do get insecure about it or you don't want to talk about it, that's whatever. But it's going to be more helpful for you guys if you can just kind of like hold that for a bit and let them talk about it.
Yeah, and I think if you do feel insecure about them talking about it, like there's been times you've mentioned exes and then I've said like actually that makes me uncomfortable to talk about that or things like that. More in the like story sharing versus like I need to process this.
Totally.
And coming from and like I named like I'm feeling insecure because of this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, which is fair.
I think it's okay to have that and just like communicate that of like, hey, like I know that it's important for you to talk about this, but I'm feeling a little insecure.
Yeah. Certain things maybe you shouldn't share with your partner. Save that for your therapist or for your best friend or whatever. Like, you know, there's stories that I've had like, that I could think of in my head that they stress me out and I could talk about it, but maybe you're not the right person to talk about it with. But I guess just the more general stuff, like.
And if that story or that experience is showing up in your current relationship, I think it's really important to talk about.
Yeah.
And not be like, oh, well, I can't talk about my ex with my partner because they'll think I still like them or they'll get jealous or things like that. Don't let that stop you because all of our relationships, our friendships, our relationship with our family is going to come into our current relationship in some way. Yeah. And so they're
not with that person anymore. Like,
if
they wanted to be with them, they would, most likely.
Yeah.
But
I do think that when I've talked with other friends too about, especially like long-term relationships, I'm like, it's been so helpful for me to be able to process with you and not feel like I can't talk about that because it was like so much of my life. It would be to me, it's the same as like a person that I was best friends with for that long.
I actually like when you talk about it because I do genuinely, because I think you underestimate the effects that it's had on certain things. And I think sometimes because you underestimate it, you will take on some of those responsibilities. Like for you, you feel like you need to not feel this way or do this better or something. But really it's like an aftershock or a lingering sort of after effect from your past long-term relationship that sort of created this in you. But maybe you don't want to go into that or admit it or something. But I think I like it when you can sort of process that and talk about it. And when you do realize like it's still there, like there's still stuff there that it does affect you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I could imagine for you it would feel like it brings us closer because you get to know a part of me more.
Yeah, for sure.
You get to see that I'm realizing different parts of myself.
Yeah, and you got to let it go more. Yeah. You know, you gotta shed it.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, I'm so mad because this is hard because they made this so hard and it's ingrained in me now.
Yeah.
And just to realize that and say it out loud, like you can let some of it go.
Yeah, I think I've felt a lot of resistance or a lot of like I should be over it or I'm angry that person
still takes up the space.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's been really hard, or shame that I don't know how to do it differently or something like that. But not being able to talk about it and name it and be honest with myself and you that it's there, it doesn't help.
No.
So it's better to just name it, work through it the best that I can, or just be able to name it and be like, I don't even know how to do this yet, but this is here.
Yeah. It's like you've been eating for 10 years and there's still some poop in there you got to get rid of.
What?
You know, there's still little bits. Still little bits you got to shit it out.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Purging constantly.
Yeah. Still got to purge some of that. Like, it's a long time. You know, you with someone for 4 or 5 to 10 years. It's a long period of your life. Like, for you, that is 30%, 33% of your life was spent with that person. I have that correct? Yes, I do. No, just under 30%-ish.
I think, too,
it's a long time.
When you're with, like, certain people and certain times of your life, like developmentally. Like I was with this person at a key developmental stage.
Huge. From 16
to like 27.
Well, like I think like 21 to like 20. Like 18 to 25. Like that's when you don't really know what's going on. I didn't know what was going on with me yet, you know? 27, 28, you're like, okay. some stuff starts to click. And I'm sure in 10 years I'll be like, I was an idiot at 33. Like, you know, it keeps going. But
yeah,
in terms of long-term dating at that
33?
age, I'm going to be 33 in September. I know. Isn't that weird? Just gives me, I always go back to that when we ran into Gabe at the grocery store. And I was like, how old are you now? I'm 40. I was like, how do you feel? He's like, I feel great.
Great.
And he's a professional fighter, but still gives me hope, you know? And but I'm 33 in September. I know.
That's crazy.
That means you're going to be 33 in January.
I am 12.
Okay. Then
I feel like I'm 25.
Me too.
Yeah.
I feel like I get younger by the day.
Truly.
Emotionally. Yeah. But actually, I feel like in a way more liberatedly free and young than I did when I was younger, because I'm just less concerned with shit that therapy and other things. But, you know, work through your shit, then you can let it go, and you feel more free. Life's a little bit better, easier to enjoy, not so bogged down.
Truly. I remember one time when I was doing summer camps or after school care or something, I had this one kiddo that I loved. And we were sitting together outside, and she was crying because she got her school photos back and she didn't like how she looked. Relatable. Yeah. Still cry about those things. But I remember sitting with her, and she was probably in like grade 4. And I was like, one day you're not going to give a shit about this.
Nice.
And she was like, because I didn't swear. Yeah. And she was like, and I said, I was like, you know what? I promise you, you're not going to give a shit one day you're not gonna care. And she was like, really? I was like, yeah. So true. And I remember my mom used to say that to me all the time. She's like, when you get older, you're not gonna give a shit about this.
Really?
I was like, oh God, I'm working.
True that, Morg.
Yep. What do you think, reflecting on relationships, what do you think your biggest mistake was?
How much time you got?
What do you think the biggest mistake that you had to like kind of like learn from dating, even up until like now?
I think about this one a lot, and I do. I mean, there's many things that I like regret. Yeah, like people that I hurt, and many. And if you're one of them, I do apologize, and I bet you I think about it. So I often wonder, like, I think back to the people who I actually connected pretty well with and where it didn't work out. I'm happy that it didn't, because like you and I have met, but often I wonder, because I think I was like very immature in a lot of ways and was very egocentric almost in how I would communicate or how I would come to disagreements. Like, I wonder if a lot of it was, yes, like we didn't connect, but also I just was very defensive and just not very good at owning things that I had done. And I think because I see now throughout our relationship so many of the ways in which my stuff affects you, because when you live with someone, it's so different. When you're with someone for 10 months and you don't live with them, it's like, it's so easy to be like, nah, they're not the right one. Yeah. You know? And they weren't. But at the same time, like, you live with someone for this long and they're just like a mirror every day. And I've realized like I've talked to you about this. When I was living alone, like I lived alone for 10 years and I'd be stressed out or I'd be whatever, anxious, whatever it was, pissy. There was no one around. Like I would just hang out at home a lot of the time and like watch soccer, you know? And so there's no one that I can't take that out on anyone. So I just, whatever. But now being around you, it's like, oh, I take my shit out on you a lot, or I did. And I'm really starting to try to work on that and just work on a lot of the ways in which I'm not great at handling my stress and it comes out on someone else. So I think I did that a lot, like throughout my relationships, and I feel really bad about it. And I often wonder, like, would they have gone differently if I was more mature or had known these things? And I still think on like the deeper levels, like we maybe didn't connect on those more important levels. But I have a lot of like sympathy for some of the people that I've dated, because I can remember some of the arguments and like I was just so bullheaded, just thinking I'm right, and like always sort of like I was really good at arguing. You know, I had to get really good at it, and I am like I can argue my way out of stuff. You know, and I've done that with us, and I like you have been the one that's like really made me want to see that, and I think that is like fundamentally the difference. Is I don't think it would have worked necessarily with those people, but I think about that a lot. Like, like I thought it was a lot more them than it was, I think, me. I think we were just not right for each other, but I used to say like they weren't the right one for me. But now I almost feel like we weren't right for each other, and I had a huge part to play. And there was
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's big of you to be able to name that.
Well, yeah, it just feels logical. Like it just, you know, like the past 6 months, I think, since stopping smoking weed and nicotine, like being a lot more.
Did I miss? Hello? Hello?
Sorry, we just tugged on one of the cords. Yeah, I stopped smoking weed and nicotine, which had been like an ongoing thing through most of my adult life, all basically, weed especially. And when you stop doing that stuff, the stuff that has helped you repress a lot of your negative feelings about others and about yourself, then they start to bubble up. And the past 6 months have been like kind of a crash course in that, you know? And I don't know, I think a lot of stuff has happened, and it's just made me want to. I've had a lot more empathy for you and for how some of my shit comes out on you. And that last talk we had, or the one on the couch, where you kind of called me out on some of my shit. I think about that a lot, and I was like, I don't know. It shifted something, like it was another kind of thing, like another little motivation to just take accountability for my shit. And not expect you to do it. And yeah, it's like life can wear you down, but the person that you're with is not responsible for your unhappiness. They're not responsible for making you feel better necessarily. And they can be a big part of it, but you got to be able to know if you're not in a good place or a good mood or dealing with something, you have to be able to sort of take care of yourself, you know? And how do you do it? Some people, if you use weed or nicotine, whatever, cool. Like, good on you. For me, it was kind of like I would go too hard, and I became too dependent on them.
And it impacted your mood negatively.
It did, because I'm such a sensitive person that like, if I smoke a cigarette, I feel great for 20 minutes, but then I feel way not good, which is way harder for me to cope with. And I think I've had to come to a much more like stable place in myself, which is hard also because I'm used to the ups and the downs, but it wasn't sustainable.
No. Yeah, I think that's a big one that a lot of people, including myself, like, well, my partner will fix it. You know, like my partner will make me feel better, or my partner will help me. And yeah, they do, but as a team, not I'm going to dump on you kind of thing, right? Like I'm not going to dump what I don't want to deal with or what I'm scared with or what I don't feel good about onto the other person.
No. Jen said this to me. She goes, people, they don't make you happy. She goes, you make you happy or not happy, but they will add to your life or take from it. But in terms of a partnership, like they can like, there's like fulfillment and sort of, you know, and I imagine life without you and I wouldn't be happy, but I can't expect you to make me happy, you know, like you can't be the reason why I'm stable or not stable. I got to be able to do that myself.
And you can't rely on one thing to make you, like, it's the same as like you can't rely on exercise to always make you happy, because what happens when you can't work out, right? It's the same with a person, or that's why it's so, I've had to learn that too, of like diversifying kind of my happiness toolbox to be like, okay, well, today I can't do this.
Totally.
So, or I don't have the energy, or that person isn't available. So how else am I going to take care of myself?
For sure.
Yeah,
exactly. Like for me, I know my physical health has to be number one, like sleep and exercise and diet. Like that's got to be pretty dialed in. And then life stresses will overwhelm me. And it's like, sometimes there's a time to go into it. Sometimes I got to play pool or go outside or talk to you. But yeah, it can't always be someone else's responsibility.
Yeah. I think that is a big one. And it's not coming from a malicious place. It's coming from a like, I'm overwhelmed and scared and I want this other person to take care of me and help me because I don't know how to do it by myself or I don't feel confident to. And I can imagine if you dated similar people to me, you probably dated people that like to be the caretaker. Right. And so it perpetuates that cycle too, right?
There's a good example this morning. Like we're in the process of like cleaning out the shed. Well, I've taken it on as my duty in a way, or my responsibility. Like it's kind of a freaking mess. So in my brain, I have all these things I want to do to it. And so this morning we kind of started tackling it for the first time, and you tackled it with me. You're like, well, I'll help you organize. Like I'll, do some of the stuff. So we're in there this morning, and I'm just immediately overwhelmed by like, I look at this and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do with all that. I don't know what to do with that. And I want to do this, but I don't have the proper blade or whatever. And I just get so frazzled by it because there's like 50 things on my brain. And you asked me maybe like 3 or 4 questions about what do you want to do with this? What do you want to do with that? And in my brain, I got frustrated because you asked me the question and it was like another thing that added to the list. But that's like a good example because there's nothing, you're trying to help me, first of all. There's nothing wrong with you asking me a question. You don't know that I'm necessarily overwhelmed. You do, like, because you know me so well, but you were trying to help and you were just asking me a question nicely. And if I snapped at you, that's on me, And maybe that's my initial impulse is to be like, I don't know. Right. But I had to kind of be like, I'm just not sure. And then I kind of had to walk away and just like, just drink some coffee or whatever. Cause I'm like, I'm not going to take this out on her. It's not fair. And at least just having that awareness, I think is important.
Yeah. That's funny.
Why? Because you could tell I was frustrated?
Yeah, I could tell you were so overwhelmed. And I was like,
I'm trying hard not to take it out on you.
No, I know. And you didn't. You did it. You were fine. It's just like, I didn't realize how overwhelming even just like asking those questions can be. Like trying to involve you and like, how that would work for me, but it was not working for you. And I realized I had to just be like, I'm just going to clean.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to do my best to just help you in the way that I can. Because I felt I felt good about just going and being busy. That's what I wanted to do today.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
But we all handle our stress differently.
I know. Like, I don't know if is that like me? It's an ADHD thing. I think that has a lot to do with it. Just like, I just feel like when there's a thing with many moving pieces, it's like trying to solve a really complex problem. You're doing all these little calculations in your head. And then just one question can be like, oh my God, that I just can't. Like, it just tips you over the edge.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Say Libby.
We'll have to talk about that another time.
Talk about what?
Just like handling stress in relationships.
Yeah, totally.
Outside of even just like the relationship stress, but just like when you're cohabitating with someone.
Yeah.
What did I ask you?
I don't even know. I was going to say, I don't even know what that question was. I just went on an absolute
negative thing or something that you reflect that you didn't do well or something like that.
Oh.
In previous relationships. I didn't say regret, but like.
Oh yeah. Do I have any regrets?
It wasn't regret.
To roll the tape.
I don't like that word.
Yeah. Don't mind it. I mean, yeah. I have both. Like, I think things happen for a reason, and I do have regrets. I have things that I've done to people that I absolutely regret.
Yeah, I guess so.
I absolutely wish I could go back and not do those things. Yeah. I've got like 10 in my head, with people who just didn't deserve that. Yeah. Like I was not good in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I absolutely regret those things. And some of the biggest learnings for myself. Yeah, and I have them in my brain, and if I ever see them or come into contact, or sometimes I have, but like they're gonna get a big sorry. Yeah, big sorry sandwich. Yeah.
I think it was learning. I think that was the question.
My biggest learning
from dating.
Yeah. So much. So much.
I think mine was like losing yourself in a relationship. Like
your biggest learning?
Yeah, I think was the self-sacrificing. I think as women it comes up. I think as being like more of the caretaker it comes up.
Yeah.
Like excusing bad behavior. Like at an expense to myself.
What's it like to be a caretaker in a relationship? And how does that affect your dating? Being a caretaker.
Well, let me finish the first question and then we'll come back to that
Wax
one. Wax that on. Yeah, I think that like my biggest learnings is learnings a word?
Learnings. I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes, it is.
Yeah, the self-sacrificing.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either.
Because learning
is
okay. Plural. Yeah.
Self-sacrificing in a relationship to appease the other person, to give the illusion that I'm safer because I'm not rocking the boat. Because I don't want to be seen as like asking for too much or being too dramatic or whatever it might be. I think that was a big one. Not trusting my gut. Huge.
Yep.
Huge one. That intuition, even if you can't really explain it.
Such a hard one to describe and define. Often throughout the day, I've learned to do this because I'm so bad at like accessing that because I'm so up here. But like, how do you trust your gut? How do you know, like it's such a...
It is like a practice. It is like a muscle memory practice, I think, that I've learned. And actually, when I had moved home, I'd gone on a date. We were trying to date each other. I got back and I was like, I don't know what to do. I was crying. I made him go home. My mom came into my room and she was like, I think you need to make a decision.
Yeah.
What is your gut telling you right now?
Yeah.
Like, do you want to be in this? Do you want to keep doing this or are you out? Because you can't keep doing this in between. She's like, what? Like, do you want to do this anymore? And I could feel this whole body just like sinking, like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
And that was like a moment
Honesty.
where, I was truly honest with myself. And that had been lingering for years.
Yeah.
But it took that. And then since then, I've connected with that a lot
good
more.
At that.
Yeah. But it takes a lot of practice. It's very easy to just override it and be like, well, you know, make an excuse for it, or like, but I don't really, you know, if I feel that way, then I actually have to act on it, and that's scary.
Yeah. But that is like, I think what a lot of people do is someone asks you a question and you have a gut reaction, or you have just, and I think for myself at least, because I've like, I got really good at, or very aware of how someone else was perceiving me.
Yeah.
So I would curate my answer, or that was like a second nature thing, was to be like, how are they going to perceive my answer? And it would happen almost out of my awareness.
Yeah.
And as I'm answering, I realize like, this isn't even what I really feel or think.
Yeah.
It's just like what I think should be said.
Yeah.
And you do all these cognitive dances with yourself. And then some people, usually women, I think, you ask them a question, or Nate is really good at this. You ask him a question and he just tells you. It's just like, boom, there it is. I admire that so much.
But like, it's something you have to practice for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Always been there. I think the other thing I realized in my relationship is like, and this is hard for me to admit because I took a lot of pride and like worth and ego of being like a good partner. But I wasn't all the time because I wasn't happy. Like I didn't want to be in that relationship. And like, I know there's lots of pieces to that, but recognizing like when you're done.
Yeah, you should have left. Yeah. Is what you're saying.
I should have left for a multitude of reasons. And there were certain behaviors that I had that like I could feel myself starting to seek out attention because I was feeling so neglected. Yeah. And like that's not okay. No. And I never crossed the line. I never did anything. But even just recognize like I
cause you to act outside yourself.
Yeah. And seek out, and that's not me. No. And just I couldn't be honest with myself for a lot of different reasons as to like, okay, but I'm just not happy in this. And that's enough. But I think, if you're not honest with yourself of how you're feeling, that's when you can hurt people. I think him and I both did that. Like we were trying to cobble together what we had been doing. And it was like, well, we have to do this because we're going to get married and we've been together for so long and all of these reasons. But like, I'm not my best self. You're not your best self. What are we doing?
Yeah, I just thought as you were talking, like a really interesting question to ask yourself is, does this person let me be me? Like, can I be me around this person?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you think about that with him, like what comes to mind?
I think it was hard because I didn't even know who I was. Like talking with some of the girls the other day at the wedding who I went to high school with and like didn't maybe know the whole story or what had happened. Yeah. It's a fucking mind trip to think back to that. Like I'm so dissociated from that person, probably because I was super dissociated in that time of my life. But I don't know if I really knew who I was because I was going through it in such a developmental stage, 16 to 26, 27. Like I was discovering who I was. So I don't think that was...
How can you be certain about anything, really?
But I know that there was... that he would put down me discovering myself.
Yeah.
Like he would make fun of certain things that I was doing. I got really into like spirituality and yoga and tarot reading and all of these things, which are all things that you've celebrated that I have done, never questioned. Yeah. He would make fun of me. He would not engage. He never wanted to know about it. And like, there were multiple things that he did that I didn't give a shit about. But like your partner's coming to you, sharing something. Yeah. That's what it's about. It's not about if you actually like it or not.
Totally.
But I think what was happening was I was starting to grow outside of our bubble and he felt threatened by that. Because he could see I was making new friends. I was making new connections. I was going and exploring myself. Yeah. And
you're trying to grow.
I was trying to grow. And he was maybe too scared to grow, didn't feel like he could, was not. Yeah. For whatever reason. And I think had some self-worth things. So like if Maddie goes and does this, she's going to not like me or whatever.
That's a weird one. When your partner, the person is so insecure that they actually don't want you to kind of like discover yourself and grow because they're afraid what that will mean for you guys. Yeah.
Yeah. That's I think.
Something to avoid.
Yeah. That's a hard one. And I think that's an especially hard one when you grow up together. Yeah. And I think that's what makes those kind of like high school sweetheart situations so difficult to do in a healthy way because you're growing together almost as one and you inevitably are going to hit all these different milestones in life that you're going to be compelled to like who am I? Do I want to do this? Do I want to explore this?
Like think about what you wanted at 16.
Oh my God.
What I wanted at 16 or what I thought life would look like.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Never thought I'd be sitting here with you doing a podcast about relationships and dating. Well, I love that we are. Yeah. But like, I just would have been like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think too, like he kept me so in my comfort zone, in my bubble that he never helped me grow outside of that. He never gave me the confidence to go outside of it because I think he wanted to keep me. Yeah. And so I couldn't grow and I couldn't even like I remember when we had broken up, one of my friends asked like, well, are you gonna stay here? Like where you're living? And I was like, oh, I can choose. Right. Like all of a sudden I have free will. Like all of a sudden my life that I'd been planning to look a certain way wasn't happening. So now I could just choose. Yeah. But I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah. Because he had bought the property and he had made the decision and it was based on his work because he was making the most income and so those were kind of weird things. You don't know what you don't know.
No. It's nice when you make decisions, though, when you're like certain about something. Yeah.
And you've like helped me learn that like being honest, like there's been multiple times where I've been like almost angry with the situation. So I'm like, what else is there to lose? I'll just tell him honestly how I feel. And those have been the times where you're like, that's when it clicked for me. But I could never stand up for myself. I could never be direct. I could never honestly talk with my partner about things because they would just shut down.
They didn't want
to, or they would just blow past my boundaries. So I learned to just take it. And I think
not great ways.
Yeah, but I think in all the ways that relationship shut me down, it's the flip for you. And that's been a really weird learning lately.
Those are golden nuggets, man.
Like, it's been very strange for me to be like, wait, I'm creating my reality right now by staying in these old habits and old behaviors that I don't need to anymore. I don't need to not say what my needs are. I don't have to appease this person. It actually creates more tension and more problems for us. But it's very opposite to what my instinct is.
Yeah, totally, because you don't want to rock the boat. And but yeah, they're little golden nuggets when you like allow yourself to actually say how you truly feel, even if it's going to upset me or upset the other person. Like, if it's coming from a place of truth, that is gold to be mined. You know, I really do see that, because I know we're not always going to agree. I know that sometimes I'm going to feel a certain way and what you want or think is going to be different. But sometimes that's what's needed. It's the yin to the yang, you know? Like, you need someone to just come in with that other perspective. That's like partly why certain partnerships work and certain ones don't. Because imagine me left all my own devices. Like, you know? Where I would be, what I would be doing.
Same.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Very weird.
Yeah. We each need each other to brick each other in our own ways, you know?
The brick.
Should have a little list of the things that each of us need to be bricked on.
That's a funny one. I'm going to read that.
Bricking, I learned recently, is a app, I think, that you can buy where you have to don't tell me, because I've been told this twice now. You got to it's like a QR code. No, it's something where you have to like go to the app, and it's like it locks your phone, basically. Technology is not my strong suit.
The brick is a device, like a little brick. Goes on. Our friends have that on their kitchen fridge. Right. Obviously their kitchen fridge, whatever. And you have to swipe it manually to lock it and swipe it to unlock it. So if you swipe it in the morning and then you leave the house.
Right. It's awesome.
You're bricked.
My God, I need to be bricked daily with other things. Sometimes phone. I'm pretty addicted to my phone.
In a different way than me.
Yeah.
I have no idea how good it sounds. That was terrible.